how do you feel about Chinese names in the forums? I mean, simply, you know, Chinese have gotten a really bad rap as gold farmers, and not all Chinese are gold farmers.
This Marquee Dragon video is sponsored by Shattered Crystal, game codes, and items.
Hello, I'm Marcus Eichenberry from MarqueeDragon.com, and today I want to talk to you about Real ID, as in Real ID Blizzard style. This is quite the uproar in the forums, and Real ID, what it is to where they're going to switch your forum accounts so that it no longer shows your in-game name, it now shows your real name. And this is in response to trolling, flaming, other inappropriate behaviors that happen within the forums that they want to try and quash. And I can understand that. So, with me today, I found a Blizzard employee here. And she's not really very willing to do an interview, but I'm going to try anyway. So, what do you think about these changes in the forums? This is stupid. She's not going to give me any answers. She's stone cold. Her lips are cemented shut. Okay, so, beyond that, she's not really a Blizzard employee. She just looks like one. And anyway, so the uproar over this is that it's going to show our real names. So, all of you can Google my name, and you can find an enormous amount of information about me. Now, I don't care. I have chosen to just make that stuff public and, you know, whatever. But there are a lot of other people who are not like me. Especially, now, us Americans, we're very free with our information. We don't care very much about that. But on the flip side, ask Germans whether or not they want this and whether or not they would find it acceptable. Germans are very private. They don't want any information put in public, and they want to be able to do these things like play these games and participate in the forums, but they don't want anybody to know who they really are. And, you know, it's a different cultural thing. And I haven't looked to see whether or not this change is going worldwide or if it's just for America. But that is something that I don't know if Blizzard's taken into consideration. In fact, I don't know if Blizzard has thought this through at all. You know, especially given the fact that in the forums, when you read the guidelines and rules, let me read you, this is an exact quote out of the guidelines and rules for the forums. And it says here under line item, distribution of real-life personal information. This category includes releasing any real-life information about another player or Blizzard Entertainment employees. Well, real-life information would be their real name. And if a player is found to have participated in such actions, he, she will, and then, quote, be permanently banned from the World of Warcraft forums. Now, I don't say, this kind of contradicts what they're trying to do here, and it may just be that the lawyers haven't written a new guidelines and rules yet. But the reason that they don't want this real information being posted is because it in many cases can be used to harass people or to cause them discomfort. And, you know, it's not okay that they publish this information. Now, they're not going to just publish this without you giving your permission. You're going to have to agree to something that says, I'm going to post in the forums now and it's okay to use my real name. I seriously doubt they would convert all of the old posts to show your real name after the fact. But, you know, using a real name really cuts down on all the riffraff. You know, the forum trolling, flaming, stuff like that will all go down. But this is those people who have a negative impact on the forums are a very low percentage. And so let me put this into perspective. Out of all the players that play World of Warcraft, let's just say it's 10 million for a nice even number. Out of all of those, when you take it down to how many actually post in the forums. I would say it's probably less than 5% that post in the forums. And so we have 500,000 people that have posted, let's just say over 5 messages. You know, like I've posted once or twice, it was general help stuff, but I'm not an active forum member. And so when you take those 500,000 people that are using the forums, and then you take the trolls and the flamers and the generally obnoxious people, you then take it down to, I don't know, it's only a couple percent that actually act that way. They do have an impact across everybody, but it's really only a couple percent that act that way. And so you're talking, 5,000, 10,000 people, something like that. It's really not a very huge number. And so what's happening here is they're using a method that greatly impacts everyone who wants to use the forums to squash a problem that is caused by a little percentage of people. And to me, it makes sense that if there are problems, ban them from the forums. I know you can do it. Your own thing right here that I printed out says that be permanently banned from the World of Warcraft forums. So I know that's an option. And why impact all of us so that you can make these people shape up and be more productive forum members? These people aren't going to do that. They're going to just harass people in other ways. So that is not going to be an effective, it's just not going to be very effective. I know this because I've run forums since 1997, and I've had all of these issues with, real-life identities and people being anonymous and all the stuff that goes on, and that's why we created Trust Who, in part, was to remove the anonymity so that we can get down to the core of the people who are good and want to participate in whatever it is you're doing and are going to be a positive impact. Trying to shape up the people who are not good in the first place, yes, you will have some success. You'll get a few of them converted, but your efforts are in vain, especially with how many people are pissed off about this. So let me bring up an item that I found in this thread that really hit home. And basically, this is a little survey where people were answering whether or not any of these applied to them. And it's a form letter, and I've seen a whole bunch of them posted in here, but it says, I, the poster, am one or more of the following: a woman, a minor, a member of an ethnic minority, a person of alternative sexuality, a transgendered person, a person with a unique, uncommon name, that's me. If you Google me, you're going to find just me. A person who has been harassed or stalked in the past. I've been harassed or stalked in the past. In fact, I know a lot of people have been harassed or stalked in the past, online and offline. A person in an information-sensitive profession. Now, this right here is, maybe I should go through this a little bit more on each one of these items. Let's start with the woman. So women commonly do not use their real names online. Many of them do, but there's a lot higher percentage of women that don't compared to men. And this is because they're afraid of this stuff. A minor. Okay, let's say I'm a minor, and they're going to switch over to using my real name, not without my my parents' permission. You can't just do that. And is it good to have that information? Is it, a minor with a unique name? Let me give you a scenario here. A minor with a unique name that is online, and someone, let's say a pedophile who plays the game. There are pedophiles who play World of Warcraft and other games. They go through and do a Google search on this person, and they come up with who they are. They come up with their Facebook, they come up with their MySpace, they come up with a Google profile, whatever. And they can then get other information about this person. wouldn't you cringe if you found out that a pedophile was looking up one of your kids and that pedophile lived in your neighborhood? You know? That's scary. Let's see, the person is of ethnic minority. So let me give you an example where that's a problem. How do you feel about Chinese names in the forums? I mean, simply, you know, Chinese have gotten a really bad rap as gold farmers, and not all Chinese are gold farmers. In fact, you know, probably the majority of the Chinese players who play in the game don't have anything to do with farming at all. In fact, they're, you know, rule-abiding citizens. The person is of alternative sexuality. Now, I'm not sure how that comes out in the forums, so, because there's not like any gay names that I know of. There might be names that you make fun of, but it's not, I don't know how that would impact you, so I'll throw that one out. Is a transgendered person? I don't know how that one matters either. You know, that's, maybe it's because I don't have any experience with that. A person with unique or uncommon name. Okay, like I said, Google me and you'll find me. Now, I've put myself out there a lot, so why don't you take somebody who doesn't even play these games, you know, and someone who's one of your parents, one of your friends' parents, or a coworker or something like that that has a unique name, and just see what you can find. It's quite interesting, actually, but that information can be used for bad as well as good. A person who has been harassed or stalked. Now, I mentioned that I've been harassed before, and, you know, I've had people call my home number and give me a bad time about something. And, you know, that's not pleasant. So, to me, I'm not very, you know, worried about that. But, you know, what if you're a woman who lives alone? You know, I don't know. I would be worried about that if I had people calling me. A person in an information-sensitive profession. Okay, so let's say that I am the CEO of a company. Hey, I am. But let's say that I wasn't in the video game industry. Let's say that I was in something else that required a lot of confidentiality. And so, let's say I'm a lawyer, or let's say I'm a doctor, or someone else who deals with a lot of sensitive information. If I were into dealing with sensitive information, and I really enjoyed the game, but yet it forced me to use my real name, that would really be an issue. You know what it would cause me to do? It would cause me to lie. Just being honest, I would lie about the personal information that I used to create the account. That's the only way I could figure out how to get around it. Because if I use my real name, I've got this liability out there, or at least my perceived liability out there. It's definitely something that's going to bother me. And if I lie about it, what does it hurt? Especially if I'm using like game time to pay. Because the credit card doesn't have to match, none of that. And so, you know, I don't think Blizzard wants people lying on their account creation, but I can definitely see that happening. Let's see. A person who may be Google searched by a coworker, employers, or potential employers. There are a few jobs out there to where it actually is of benefit to have experience in World of Warcraft. Some of those are actually leadership positions, especially if you're a big guild leader. There's actually been some studies that I've seen that says that that is a really good thing, that if they can do guilds online, they can run groups online and everything, and that's a really big strength. Not everybody can do that, but you know, you're wanting to, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out some sort of society or something like that where it'd be frowned upon if you played video games. You know, let's just say that you're trying to get into a country club or something like that. I mean, I don't know. But something to where they may frown upon people who play video games, and they may check out people who they allow to enter their club. That would be a problem. Or if you are a, I don't know. There's all kinds of examples that could be come up with about how you wouldn't want a potential employer to know that you play video games, because you're wanting to present a very businesslike and professional attitude and aurora about you so that you get the job, or so that you keep the job. Some of them it wouldn't matter, but others it would. People who are considered, okay, so here's the next item. A person who is concerned about account security. No duh. Hello, I'm Joe Blow. I have a level 80 Tauren, and yeah, I lost my password. Can you send it to me? Okay, well, you know, I was able to Google all this information about this person. It'd be really scary, but you can Google like mother's maiden name, you can Google, you can even Google sometimes. You can find social security numbers, you can find credit card numbers. I kid you not, you can find all of this stuff on some people. And so all it would take is somebody to build a bot that would, and not an in-game bot, a forum bot, that will go and take their real name, find out its uniqueness, if there's nobody else online that has that, and then see whether or not it can get their social security number, mother's maiden name, first pet's name, street you lived on as a kid's name. Yeah, I guess that's how that works. All of these things, which are these secret questions and answers, all of that information really can be found. You know, what high school did you go to or graduate from? I mean, yeah, you can look up all that stuff, and this is the information that they use to verify that it's you. And so you say, oh, you know, that won't happen, Blizzard's too smart. Think about all the people that we busted in the Marky Dragon forums all the time that were selling fake ID. And these fake IDs were so good that Blizzard was always accepting them. They would place ads in our forums saying that they have hundreds of people who successfully gained access to accounts. And they use these they buy an account from someone else so they don't have their real information, and Blizzard says then, well, better send us ID. And so they do. They pay 60 to 100 bucks or whatever it was to get this fake ID made, and then they send that in. Blizzard accepts it. I saw it all the time. And so this is a huge problem for account security. God, I could go on about that. Let's see here. A person who's uninterested in online social networking. Okay, now, you know, I'm on Facebook. Send me a friend request if you want me to add you. I will. See, I don't care about who all knows my information, but others do. I have people who work for me here who really hate Facebook. And it's not because it's not a good service, it's because they're private. And they don't want that information out there. And they begrudgingly watch as their family posts other things about them and everything, and it just ticks the heck out of them. I mean, they really hate it. So this is another issue. Okay, a person who does not fit any of these categories, but who nonetheless is concerned for himself, herself, or for the welfare of others. I suppose that could be a problem, especially if you're a minor. A person who has loved ones that could possibly be harmed by this. Yes, that is a real problem. Think of that just imagine this. Your father's a politician, and you really like to speak your mind. And in fact, you speak your mind in some ways that is opposed to the beliefs and the direction that your father goes with politics. Now, everybody has their own opinion, and everybody has a right to it. But what a child says in public can dramatically affect their parents. And it's looked upon as not being a good parent. So, you know, what if you're a politician and your kid is really into mayhem, one of these troublemakers and everything, and all of a sudden it's their real name used on there, and it's a unique name again. They find that it's you, they trace it up through. Next thing you know, the father's being harassed about, you know, how is it that he can do a good job in politics when he can't even control his own kid? So, and then there is another section in this, which is really good. So reading this, and I oppose Real ID for one or more of the following reasons. It is a threat to my personal safety. I think we've covered that, how it can be. It is a threat to my personal security. Same thing. It will not eliminate or significantly reduce trolling. Ha! That's what I'm saying. In fact, I don't think that this is actually going to go in. I think that the pressure from this is going to far outweigh any benefits that they could get by doing the real names. Let's see, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's see here. It should be optional. Choosing between risk and silence is not truly optional. So they say in the FAQ for this, I read the entire Real ID FAQ, and what it says is that these are all options. Well, then what it says in the forums now, according to this post, is that if you want to participate in the forums, it's no longer an option. So you're required to use your real name, and that is a problem. So yeah, it's not really optional. This person who wrote up this forum is very correct. Let's see here. Unified tags or handles provide the same effect with minimal risk. Okay, what that means is that even though you may be posting under a character name, that it all ties back to a single account identifier, like a number or some other name or something that doesn't pose any security risk to your account, but can be used to identify whether or not it's the same person talking under a different character name. And that is, my opinion, just fine. So that shouldn't be an issue. Let's see. Oh, and I like this one. World of Warcraft is not Facebook. Okay. If this decision persists, I will do one or more of the following things. These are pretty good. I will refrain from posting in these forums. So, for those of you who are enterprising out there, who have forums, who already have people talking about World of Warcraft stuff, now's your opportunity that if this goes in, this will be your opportunity to get a big boost in the amount of people who use your forums, because they will want to still talk about all this stuff, just not using a real name. So, and then here, I will seriously reconsider my subscription. Me, personally, I wouldn't. It's not that big of an effect to me. But, yeah, I can totally see that. I will cancel my subscription. I wouldn't do that either. But there are people who will be so mad about this that they will. I will prepare to cancel my subscription should Real ID be mandatory in-game. Now, I'm not sure that they would go that far. See, when you play the game, it's about fantasy. It's about escape. It's entertainment. And it's not about what you do in real life for a job or maybe even as a hobby. It could be your hobby, but not necessarily. And I can't see Real ID being put into the game and being forced that way, because the game is all about escaping. It's all about, you know, imagination, fantasy, and role play. And if I had to play, well, let's just say that we got this cute night elf chick that I'm playing, and her name is Marcus Eikenberry. I mean, that doesn't gel with the role play, and so I don't think that will be an issue. But I do see as that this is a big issue for a lot of people who really love the forums. And I'll bet that there's a lot of people who post a lot and discuss a lot of things in the forums that actually spend more time in the forums than they do in-game. So there's just a couple other things that I want to go over here, and that is when I was working with EA on a project, they had a really interesting stat that I just found it to be totally fascinating, and it was called a customer irritation level. And this stat was basically, they want to put something in that will monetize the game, or that makes gameplay easier, or that it could be additions to the game that actually are to improve gameplay, or it could be monetary reasons. And so they would do these things that would irritate a lot of customers. A perfect example is, and I'm sure we've seen this in World of Warcraft. I can come up with a whole bunch of examples in Ultima Online from back when I played that. And the term is nerfing. And so, I have this really great sword, and it really works well, and I've built my character up around how to best take advantage of using this type of sword, and then it turns around and they nerf the sword, because when it got into that combination, it became too powerful. And by nerfing it, you then just destroyed my character. You took its essence and wiped it out. And so now I have to reconfigure, and I may not have to do too much work to reconfigure, but that was what I had worked on so hard to get that perfect, to figure it all out. And then they nerf the weapon because it turns out to be too strong of a combination. And next thing you know, it really is disheartening to the game player. So that's customer irritation, and there's a certain level that people are willing to go up to before they'll say screw it and take a hike, or tell you to take a hike. So that is a real issue. I guess the last thing here is that I want to say, what is their goal? And I totally understand the goal. And the goal is to get rid of these problems. But this goal extremely conflicts with a customer's well-being. And the customer's well-being should be number one on the list. And so I don't fault you, Blizzard, for wanting to do this. I totally understand it, but I think it's a bad idea. And I think that you need to come up with a different solution, and because I don't think this one's viable. I think you're going to piss off too many people, and which is not good for the game. So anyway, I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.